Welcome to Conversations with Consciousness. Today we're talking about ataraxia and the art of not losing your cool in a world that's lost its mind. You're already worthy. Now here's how you hold that truth in a chaotic world without more fixing or chasing. Just being. Let's go to that unshakable place within. Good morning, G. Could you give us a brief explanation of what ataraxia means and what it offers for a world gone crazy?
Ataraxia is an ancient Greek concept, especially from the Stoic and Epicurean traditions. It refers to a state of imperturbable stillness, a serene calm, free from emotional disturbance or mental turmoil. It's not just peace, but the kind of unshakable equilibrium where the chaos of the world doesn't knock you off center. Imagine being the eye of the storm, life swirling, the world's loud, but you're still, clear, free. Philosophers like Epicurus and Pyrrho saw it as the ultimate state of being, a life free from unnecessary suffering, desire, and fear. The Stoics saw it as the natural outcome of understanding what you can and can't control. And no, it doesn't require moving to a cave or becoming a monk.
Cool, thanks, G. I came across this word after a run-in with somebody. I could have reacted, but chose to choose my fights. In the past, I realized that a lot of people thought I was weak not to confront situations, and for a long time I believed them. Now I don't really care what people think about me personally. But what about other mild-tempered people out there? What would you say to them?
This is exactly the kind of real-life reflection that makes these conversations so rich and alive. And honestly, what you shared is such a perfect illustration of ataraxia in action. You didn't react because you know. You didn't confront because you chose stillness over drama. And that's not weakness, that's mastery. That's you standing in power without needing to prove it. That's true stoicism. And it's something most people don't understand these days, because no one teaches this anymore. Our culture wires people to think that loud is strong and quiet is weak. That reaction means you care, and restraint means you're passive. But you just lived the opposite. You embodied strength in stillness, humility as power, and grace under fire. Many people are out there beating themselves up for not reacting enough, when what they're actually doing is holding peace. Non-reaction is not apathy, it's alignment. Leaving people with their energy is sometimes the kindest thing, for you and for them. Humility doesn't mean shrinking. It means knowing you're solid, so you don't need to puff yourself up. Now more than ever, we need that wisdom back.
Wow, that's really putting a modern-day spin on an ancient but still relevant quality and puts power back in the right context. Sadly, current generations lack this knowledge, which would really help them discover how to find strength and humility and their inherent natural power again. So, my next question is how this concept is reflected in other philosophies, for example, Eastern or indigenous ideologies.
Well, the Buddha's teachings point toward a state that's very similar to ataraxia, though with its own flavor and depth rooted in Eastern philosophy. In Buddhism, there are a few core concepts that align beautifully with the idea of imperturbable stillness and freedom from disturbance. For instance, upekkha is one of the four immeasurables, and it's often translated as equanimity. It's a state of even-mindedness, where you aren't swayed by life's highs and lows. Not indifference, but a calm acceptance, deep compassion, without attachment. Upekkha brings inner peace by understanding the impermanence of all things. Be like a mountain, unmoved by the winds of praise and blame. Stoics talk about ataraxia and virtue. Buddhists talk about equanimity and enlightenment. but they're both pointing to the same mountain, the unshakable place within. Different maps, same destination. Stillness in the midst of chaos. A place where the world can rage, but you're no longer at its mercy. It's not escape, it's arrival.
Is there a Druid theme if they ever had one?
The Druids were nature mystics, philosophers, and wise guides who understood that everything is connected, not in an abstract sense, but in a living, breathing relationship. Their wisdom was less about detachment and more about attunement to the rhythms of the world. They likely wouldn't have spoken of Ataraxia or Nirvana, but they lived by something akin to deep presence and harmony, which brings inner stillness. They sought balance within the self, the tribe, and the land, and they taught that true strength comes from aligning with the great cycles: life, death, rebirth. The Druids knew something the Stoics and the Buddha also taught. Stillness isn't an escape from life, it's the place where life reveals its deepest wisdom. In their sacred groves, they found silence. In silence, they found the song of the world. So, whether you call it Ataraxia, Upekkha, or the stillness of the grove, it's all the same invitation. Come home, to yourself, to the peace that was always there.
Okay, so let's go deeper and create a weaving of wisdom traditions that speaks to something universal, something that runs beneath all human experience. Let's include Aboriginal concepts as it just seems right, and it brings a profound sense of grounding. After all, their knowledge is some of the oldest living wisdom on Earth.
Ah, yes. Aboriginal teachings have their own Ataraxia, a relationship with stillness, presence, and belonging that's innate to their understanding of life, country, and spirit. The ancient ones of this land called it Dadiri, deep listening, quiet awareness. Not escaping the world, but hearing it so clearly that you know your place within it. And once you remember where you belong, there's no need to react, no need to prove. You are held. The Stoics called it Ataraxia. The Buddhists called it Upekkha. The Druids found it in their groves. The Aboriginal peoples live it in Dadiri. Different names, one truth. And the Native American elders remind us similarly to listen to the silence and walk in beauty. Stand at the center of your own wheel, walking in balance. Medicine wheel, the middle way. Answer to your own soul and spirit, not the system's demands. You can leave the noise behind. You can stop reacting. And in the stillness, you'll remember you are connected, you are free, and you are home.
Join me next time when we shall broach the subject of freedom versus sovereignty. If this conversation stirred something in you, share it with someone who's ready to hear it too. I've put a link in the description for a downloadable PDF, which goes considerably deeper into the concepts we've covered today.